Hi, I'm Christina and this is a book review of The Measure by Nikki Erlick. So this is a science fiction novel. It was published in 2022 and I first heard about it when it was nominated for the Goodreads Choice Awards in 2022, and it was nominated in two categories for Best Science Fiction Novel and Best Debut Novel. Now I have to say I absolutely love this book and I've given this one 5 stars. So let me tell you a little bit about what it's about. So one night, every adult in the world receives a box, and inscribed on this box in the recipient's native language is the phrase, "The measure of your life lies within." Now inside this box is a piece of string, and this piece of string will show you the length of your life. Now I thought this was such a wonderful concept, and the way she executed it was brilliant too. So I really enjoyed this one. Now I would say this is definitely a character study. It's definitely a character-driven novel, and the story is told through 8 different perspectives. So we see alternating chapters between all of these 8 people, and then all of these threads of the narrative just kind of come together and you see how all of these people are connected. And I thought it worked really well. So the characters we have Nina and Maura, and they are 2 women who are in love. And then we have Amy, who is Nina's sister, and she is a teacher. And then we have 2 men called Hank and Ben, and they are people that Maura meets in a support group. And then we have a man called Anthony, and he is a politician. And then we have 2 young men called Jack and Javier, and they are soldiers. So you have this kind of diverse range of characters, and you don't know in the beginning how they're all going to obviously interact. But yeah, it worked really well, and I was very much interested in these characters. I thought the love story between Nina and Maura was so lovely, and they were some of my favourite characters in this book. And there's another kind of love story as well that I won't tell you about, but that's lovely, and it kind of starts with just the sending of anonymous letters. And yeah, it's just a really good book, and I think it's done so well. Now I think the thing I really enjoyed about this was the world building. She really explores this world in such a great way. So basically when these strings arrive in the boxes, it's obviously your choice if you're going to open the box or not. Some people obviously open the box immediately, some people don't want to open the box at all, and you kind of just see people's initial reactions to this very kind of strange event, and the whole idea of where did the boxes come from, and you know, who sent them, how did any of this happen. And I thought that was a really kind of intriguing concept that we were running with, and I really like the idea of a string kind of determining the length of your life. And it was interesting to see the way in which she kind of explored this kind of on a kind of person to person level with the characters. And she also looked at it in a much kind of higher level, looking at how different countries and different governments would react to this. So obviously some governments would want to put in place measures to kind of stop people with the short strings doing certain things. And it was just, yeah, it was all very interesting. And I was sitting there thinking, yeah, you've really thought about this concept and kind of the knock-on effects that this would have in the world. And yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was written really well, and there were definitely a couple of moments where I was very emotional. I do think I was very connected to these characters, and yeah, I think all of the characters were written very well as well. So obviously in the aftermath of these strings arriving, once they've kind of figured out that it does determine the length of your life, you obviously know how long you have left to live. And they bring up these support groups for people kind of dealing with this knowledge. And they'll have a group for people who have less than a year left, and then, you know, maybe a few years left or just a decade left. And that's kind of a central aspect of this novel, because we have a few of the characters who meet because of this kind of support group for short stringers. And that's the kind of language we use. We have something, so we have short stringers and long stringers, and it's kind of introducing a new type of prejudice as well. So how obviously people can be discriminated against for lots of different reasons. And then this one is showing a new way that people can be discriminated against. And yeah, I thought it was really, really good. I think I could talk about this book for hours and hours, thinking about all the different ways this went into it and looking at it politically. So in some of the governments, they wanted you to return the box unopened, and they don't want you to know at all what it is. And then some of the governments are very much like, you have to open it, you have to tell us, you have to file a report and tell us how long you will live, and just all of these interesting things. And then some of the countries are all kind of like, we don't want people with a very short string in high kind of powered jobs. So, you know, working in the government or working in the military, because you don't have too much time left. And it has knock-on impacts from other kind of areas too. So people with short strings are finding it very difficult to kind of get approved for mortgages, approved for loans, for adoptions, for maybe getting a job. So when you go to a job interview, people are going to be very prejudiced against you. If you can only give a couple of years to the company, they might think there's not much point training you because they're not going to get, you know, the immediate benefit back from you. And yeah, just so many interesting things. And obviously we're looking at the way that it impacts relationships as well. So you have people in relationships, and then when the boxes come and you find out maybe how much or how little time you have left to live, how that's going to impact relationships, romantic relationships, and also kind of the question of who deserves to know how long your string is. Is it a very private thing and the only person who must know is yourself? And again, that's your choice. If you don't want to look, then you don't have to look, apart from some governments and people would say that you do. Or do you kind of owe this information to your partner, to your children, to your friends, to your parents, I mean, to your career, to your, you know, employer, to the government? And all of these different kind of levels is very interesting, because I think you can look at it in your own way, make your own opinions, and just kind of see what she's doing. And she never really tells you what it is. And I didn't mind at all. I thought it was so good. And obviously throughout the book, I was wondering, I had theories, I had ideas, but I quite liked it, that we don't really know and it's up to you. And I do think it brings up a lot of interesting questions in life as well. So when I was reading it, I was thinking, like, I asked my boyfriend, what would you do? Like, would you open the box? Would you not open the box? And I think it's interesting to hear that she has characters who do open the box and they want to know. They have characters who say that they will not open their box and they commit to not opening the box. And then maybe someone opens their box on their behalf without their permission, and, you know, they're kind of, this knowledge is forced upon them. And there's other ones where, you know, there's people who have decided we're not going to open the box, and then all of a sudden the partner just changes their mind and they want to open the box. So yeah, she really explores all of these different things. And we also have the people who choose, I am not opening that box ever. And yeah, I thought it was really, really interesting. One of the best science fiction novels I've read in a very long time, maybe overall. Yeah, I think this is actually going to be one of my favourite science fiction novels of all time. I can't fault it in the sense that it was so well written. I was so connected to these characters. I thought the concept itself was excellent. I thought the way she executed it was really good. I liked the way she looked at it on just different levels, on like a very kind of small level, like in terms of your relationship, your friendships, your job, you know, your parents, all of this. And also on a much, much higher level in terms of, would having a short string stop you from becoming a member of the military, or a member of the kind of government, or a member of like a high powered kind of like a national security agency? And yeah, it was really, really good. And then the impact on society in terms of what would happen on a political level, in terms of who's going to, you know, become president. So this book is set in America. It's mainly set in New York and a little bit in Washington. So we do kind of have an America-focused look. And she does kind of look at some other countries very briefly, like she looks at China and she looks at North Korea. But yeah, it's very focused on America. Yeah, I think it was really, really good. Yeah, highly, highly recommend it. And this is her debut novel. I think it's a brilliant debut novel. And I have to say, I will definitely be reading whatever she publishes next. And yeah, this is one of my favourite science fiction novels of all time now. I think it's probably going to be one of my favourite books of 2023, and obviously we're only at the start of the year, so yeah, it's really good. I've just had a really good run recently of reading really, really good books, and this is one of them. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video if you've liked it, and please do subscribe if you'd like to hear more of me talking about books. I'll see you in my next one.